Hello, my name is Maggie from Rapzilla.com, and you're watching Rapographies. Today, we're looking at the man behind God Over Money, Bizzle. Bizzle was born July 23, 1983, as Mark Felder in Los Angeles. He grew up in Cudahy City in Los Angeles County. He was raised by his mother and lived in Section 8, while his father lived in Compton. Felder got his first taste of the rap life while visiting a children's museum. Inside was a small recording studio. He hopped in and rapped Tupac's I Get Around. Felder visited a legitimate studio as an early teenager with an uncle of his. There he raps about what was around him, street life. The studio visit sparked his creativity, and he continued to master his craft from then on. After graduating high school, he chased the rap dream as the rapper Playboy, dropping over 5 mixtapes. He made some splashes as a secular artist too, getting a feature from the king of autotune, T-Pain, opening up for Lil Boosie once, and opening for Lil Wayne and Joel Santana in their Can't Feel My Face tour. He also founded his own indie label, Lavish Entertainment. Any beginning artist can attest to the abundance of wealth you have starting out. Playboy himself needed a team of drug dealers and pimps around him to help support the music. Once his personal financial situation became dire, he began selling drugs. Eventually, a prostitute approached him, offering her services to fund his music, and Playboy began pimping as well. Ironically, Playboy, also known as Bizzle, started attending church during his artist grind. With a seed planted, God convicted him in multiple ways. During an interview with This Is 50 YouTube channel, Bizzle said that the prostitute that he was pimping at the time asked him to pick up her brother from church. He found out later that the church was where her family attended, and her father was the pastor there. Finally, in 2008, Playboy Bizzle gave his life to Jesus Christ. He changed his artist name to Lavish, also known as Bizzle, but eventually dropped that name just for Bizzle. Now that Bizzle became a gospel rapper, all of his support left him, leaving him with no resources. God had a plan for him though. He said in his testimony video that out of nowhere, Frank Biggs, a friend of Bizzle's, and Grammy Award producer Boy Wonder contacted Bizzle saying they believed in his ability and wanted to mix for him and produce for him, free of charge. On December 1st, 2008, Bizzle dropped his first project as a Christian, the Messenger mixtape. Fast forward to January 2010. Bizzle drops You Got Some Explaining to Do, a diss track calling out Jay-Z's satanic behavior. The single made a splash with the public, dubbing Bizzle as the Christian rapper who dissed Jay-Z. Following that wave, Bizzle released his second mixtape in June 2010, The Messenger 2. You can find that project on datpiff.com. Bizzle also got married to his high school sweetheart, Siobhan, that year. 2010 is also when Bizzle started his current label, God Over Money. In January 2011, Bizzle released his third mixtape, The Messenger 3. The next month, he got named as a 2011 Rapzilla freshman. Bizzle wasn't done that year though, because he released his first album in June, Tough Love and Parables. This album was dubbed one of the best hip-hop rap albums of the year, according to a list published by iTunes. For Bizzle's second album, he teamed up with P-Dub, also known as Willie Moore Jr., for their joint album, Best of Both Worlds, the album. The album at its peak ended up at number 27 on the Billboard Top 200. In 2013, Bizzle dropped The Good Fight, reaching number 11 at its peak. The album featured another hip-hop call-out, titled Dear Hip Hop. Speaking of call-outs, Bizzle dropped another one in 2014. This time in response to Macklemore's song, Same Love. Bizzle dropped his call-out, Same Love, a response, on the God Over Money SoundCloud, where you can still find it. The track garnered some mainstream attention, with some seeing it as homophobic. Later in the year, Bizzle dropped his philanthropic album, Well Wishes. All the proceeds from the album were donated to build water wells in Mozambique. According to a YouTube video on the God Over Money channel, Bizzle said God convicted him and led him to the decision while preparing for touring in Africa. Also, the album reached number 12 on the Billboard Top 200. His next project, Crowns and Crosses, was released in 2016. This album rose to number 8 on the hip-hop rap Billboard charts. Boxer Andre Ward featured the track King as his walkout music. 2018 exploded for Bizzle and his team. On April 19th, he dropped the Golden State Warriors year anthem, Warriors, featuring Kay Alico. Later that year, Bizzle dropped his first EP, Lightwork, which hit number 9 on the hip-hop rap charts. He followed the EP the next year with the sequel, Lightwork 2, Bars and Melodies. If you thought Bizzle was done dropping response tracks, well, you were wrong. When Joyner Lucas dropped his single, Devil's Work last year, which heavily questions and accuses God for the state of humanity, Bizzle retorted from the perspective of God with Devil's Work Response. You can find that response on the God Over Money SoundCloud. Despite the disruptive nature of 2020, Bizzle decided to drop the 4th installment of the Messenger mixtape series, Independence Day. Since coming to Christ, Bizzle has dropped an album every year, except in 2009 and 2017. Salute to Bizzle. Not many artists have that consistency. And that's a wrap. A bio of Bizzle. What do you think about Bizzle's life? And what's your favorite album from him? Let us know in the comments. Till next time, this is Maggie. Stay tuned to Rapzilla for the next episode of Rapographies.